Hello friends, today I shall discuss functional anatomy and physiology of digestive system. Digestive system is an important part of biological system. This system deals with multiple functions right from intake of food, its digestion, absorption, assimilation, and elimination of undigested foodstuff. So let's start with the fundamental organ of digestive system. This organ is, we can call it as alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is a long, muscular, and a tubular structure. It has three important features, as I said. It's a long mean to say it has a diameter approximately 6 to 8 meters. It's a muscular organ, that is, it is provided with skeletal muscles and smooth muscles. And it is definitely a tubular structure. So let's discuss into details about the components of alimentary canal. Alimentary canal can be divisible into two components, two main type of organs. One we can call it as primary organs, and other group of organ we can call as accessory organs. This classification is based on the function of organs contributing to various functions of digestion. The organs which are directly involved with digestion of food, its absorption, and other functions of digestive system are called the primary organs. And the organs of alimentary canal which are indirectly involved in various digestive functions are called as accessory organs. Now let's take up details about these two groups of alimentary organs. So as I said, it has a length of 6 to 8 meters and is responsible for all these functions. One is ingestion. Ingestion we called intake of food into oral cavity. Second function, digestion. Digestion is the conversion of complex food into the simpler form of foods. I shall describe this function in detail in my next slide. So time being, we shall now take up another function, that is absorption. Once a food becomes simplified by digestion, it is now further subject to absorption. And the last function of alimentary canal or digestive system is the elimination of undigested foodstuff from the alimentary canal. All these four functions are performed by a specific movement of the wall of alimentary canal. We call it as peristalsis. And this is a muscular contraction we shall discuss in detail in the next coming slides. So this way again it is said that alimentary canal has primary organs and accessory organs. Now this slide gives us a diagrammatic presentation of the organs of alimentary canal. So this is a hypothetical diagram. It describes various parts of alimentary canals. Let's take into the first part of alimentary canal is the mouth. And these are the parts of mouth. This is an upper lip, its lower lip, and the aperture between two we can call it as mouth. Mouth enters into this part we call as cavity. In the lower part of face, we call it oral cavity. So this part is the tongue. This portion is the hard palate, and these are the salivary glands which are associated with oral cavity. And this is submandibular gland. This one is parotid gland, and this gland is which is beneath the tongue. We call it a sublingual gland. And behind the oral cavity lies another part of alimentary canal, that is pharynx. This part we can call as pharynx. And pharynx then leads into esophagus. This is another primary organ of alimentary canal. And thereafter comes a J-shaped organ. We call it as stomach. Stomach, here is a liver, and liver we can describe as an accessory organ along with gallbladder. So another primary organ of alimentary canal that follows stomach, and this part is the small intestine with 3 divisions we shall now discuss. Before that, the organ which is colored in blue color is the large intestine with the different portions. So let's take up this slide. The primary organ of alimentary canal is, first one is mouth, next part is pharynx, then esophagus, then another part of alimentary canal which is a primary organ is a stomach, then this part is small intestine. From here it starts a small intestine. Small intestine divisible into 3 parts. The parts closer to proximal to stomach is duodenum, then jejunum, and then the terminal part of small intestine, ileum. The part which is followed by the first part of large intestine, that is cecum. So large intestine first part which is in proximity to ileum is cecum. Cecum, this part is appendix, vermiform appendix. Vermiform appendix in human body is an vestigial organ. That means in human body, apparently it doesn't have any specific function, but it was functional in the other predecessors, ancestors of present Homo sapiens, but still it is also functional in cud-chewing mammals. So this is vermiform appendix. From that it follows this part is cecum. And cecum is followed by, this one is ascending colon, this is transverse colon, this part is descending colon, and this descending colon is followed by S-shaped part of colon, this is called sigmoid colon, and then is the rectum, temporary storage of undigested food matter or fecal matter, and rectum is moves outlet of the rectum is we can call as anus. So these are primary organs of alimentary canal, and let's one by one we will just enumerate first of all accessory organs. Accessory organs, as I earlier said, are those organs which help in mastication, help in digestion and absorption of food. These are not directly involved with the food. These are not directly in contact with the food as other parts of alimentary canal like mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small and large intestine. These all parts which I have just quoted are in direct contact with the food and directly involved in various functions of digestive system. Accessory organs are not in direct contact with the food. So accessory organ starts from oral cavity. The first one are the teeth, which are helpful in mastication of food. Another part is tongue. Then comes the salivary glands, which are associated with oral cavity. Then another part of alimentary canal, which is an accessory organ, is the liver, which we can call as the largest gland in human body. have a weight around 1.5 kilogram. So it produces bile and it serves multiple functions. So another accessory organ is the gallbladder. And the last one, the accessory organ is pancreas. Now let's check up in detail the parts of alimentary canal. We shall discuss now the functional anatomy and physiology of individual parts of alimentary canal. I will describe the functional anatomy first in the form of its introduction. First as introduction or a definition. Second part would be the macroscopic anatomy, then histology part, then clinical anatomy, and the last one would be describe the functions. So in sequence, I will describe functional anatomy. First of all, functional anatomy of oral cavity. What's an oral cavity? Oral cavity is a space in lower part of face, which we call synonymously we call mouth. Oral cavity can be temporarily divisible into two parts. One is buccal cavity, we can call, and other part we can call vestibule. So buccal cavity is the part of oral cavity which is interior to the teeth in upper and lower arch. When a mouth is closed, when teeth of opposite arches are in contact in occlusum. So whatever the space is there in oral cavity, that is bounded by the lingual surfaces of all teeth in upper and lower arch, that is called buccal cavity. Like a space, if this is an upper jaw, is an upper arch, this is a lower arch, when both arches are in contact in occlusum. So there is a space which is bound by lingual surface of upper and lower arches, upper and lower teeth. So this is the lingual surface and this is the labial or outer or buccal surface. So this space is called buccal cavity. And the part of oral cavity which is outside or which is lateral to the buccal surfaces of teeth and bounded by cheeks or buccal mucosa, that is called vestibule. So this diagram clearly depicts what is vestibule. So here you can see this is an upper arch, is a lower arch, dental arch, upper and lower dental arches, and the mouth is closed. Occlusal surfaces of upper arch and lower arch are in contact. Now the space left behind after teeth are in contact, this space is called vestibule. So this entire space is the vestibule. So this means vestibule is a space which is bound externally, laterally by the buccal mucosa and labial mucosa, and internally, medially, it is it is surrounded by the buccal surfaces. This is a buccal surface and this is a labial surface. That is the buccal and labial surfaces of upper and lower teeth. So in this way, we can divide oral cavity into buccal cavity and vestibule. So again, this slide says is an oral cavity synonymous with the mouth is the entrance to alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is open by both hands. Its entrance we call mouth or oral cavity and its exit we call anus. So oral cavity is the entry point of oral cavity. So oral cavity serves mastication of food, that is grinding of food. It serves for taste of food. We can sense different taste of food like sweet, sour, salty, bitter. These tastes we can have because of presence of taste buds on upper surface of tongue. Since buccal cavity serves to produce speech, pronunciation of words, then buccal cavity also serves a site for initial chemical digestion. Then what's the location of oral cavity or buccal cavity? As I said, it is located in lower part of face and immediately beneath the nasal cavity. So it lies anteriorly, it is bounded anteriorly by upper and lower lip when the lips are closed, approximate, and it is bound surrounded posteriorly by oropharynx. Oropharynx is a middle part of pharynx. And what's the macroscopic anatomy of oral cavity? So an oral cavity or oral cavity proper, or we can call buccal cavity, just earlier I said that oral cavity divisible in buccal cavity and vestibule. We can call synonymously buccal cavity as oral cavity proper. So it's a space between dental arches and occupied by tongue when mouth is closed. And vestibule, it is the outer part of oral cavity and it is surrounded by, bound by externally the lips and cheeks or labial mucosa and buccal mucosa, and internally by buccal and labial surfaces of teeth and gingiva. So these are the boundaries of oral cavity. So what are the contents? What are the organs in oral cavity? It significantly contains teeth in upper and lower arch. It contains a protusible muscular organ, tongue, and it contains the salivary gland ducts. My friends, I shall just differentiate certain terms with the help of which you can just thoroughly understand histological aspect. Is mucosa. Mucosa is the innermost layer in the wall of alimentary canal. Mucosa is made up of the innermost layer, that is epithelium. Epithelium can be single layer of cell or epithelium can be multi-layer of cell. In case if it is a multi-layer, as we have just discussed in oral epithelium, which is a multi-layer, then we call stratified layer. And based on the nature of cell in epithelium, we can call it squamous, columnar, or cuboidal. And in this present histology of oral epithelium, this layer is stratified and made up of flat cell. So we can call it as stratified squamous epithelium. So is the first part of mucosa. Wherever it is present, maybe in stomach, small intestine, or large intestine. So epithelium will be the innermost layer. So epithelium will always rest upon another thin layer that is called basement membrane. Basement membrane is a thin layer. It is acellular. That means it does not contain cell. So what's the composition then? It is primarily made up of mucopolysaccharide plus proteins. So these two components, macromolecules, they club together, mix, and they form a thick, gelatinous layer. So this acellular thin layer, that is basement membrane, it serves and it provides a platform, it provides a base on which epithelial cells rest upon. At the same time, this basement membrane, it provides adherence, attachment to the underlying layers. So epithelium always followed by basement membrane. Then there is a presence third layer which we called lamina propria. So lamina propria is again a thin layer and it is made up of loose connective tissue. What are the components? It contains cells, it contains fibers, it contains blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerve fibers. So these constituents together constitutes lamina propria. So lamina propria can be supportive to the overlying layers. Lamina propria can be a site of adherence to the underlying layers. Lamina propria provides vascularity to the overlying layer like epithelial cells, epithelial tissues. Lamina propria, since it contains immune cells and macrophages, it may provide localized immunity to the overlying cells, epithelial cells. And these three layers together constitutes mucosa wherever it is present. But here in this context, so the mucosa of oral epithelium is made up of stratified squamous epithelium. It is keratinized and non-keratinized. Keratinized in those areas which are subjected to constant friction from food and edibles like gingiva, hard palate, anterior two-thirds of dorsum of tongue. It is non-keratinized in labial mucosa, buccal mucosa, soft palate, and posterior one-third of tongue. So this we have discussed. Now the second layer below mucosa, beneath mucosa is the submucosa. Submucosa is made up of dense connective tissue and its components are the cells like fibroblast, immune cells, macrophages, lymph vessels, blood vessels, nerve fibers. Plus it contains fat cells, it contains glandular tissues, and these cells together constitutes submucosa. Now we discuss functions of oral epithelium or functions of oral cavity. Its first foremost function is oral cavity serves as a site, space where we can place food. That is, it is the site of intake of food, that is ingestion of food. Second, oral cavity serves two important parts, contribute two functions regarding digestion. Oral cavity serves for a site of mastication of food. Mastication of food means grinding food particles, converting large size particle into small food particle sizes, so that small size of food particles can mix with salivary enzymes, which part is called digestion. So oral cavity serves for mastication and digestion. So mastication we can call mechanical digestion. And digestion here in oral cavity we can call as a chemical process or chemical digestion. So oral cavity serves for mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. So another function, taste. We can perceive different taste of food. Then oral cavity is a site for mixing of food with the saliva. Oral cavity, because it contains tongue, is helpful in pronunciation of words, alphabets, speech. And oral cavity, because of presence of salivary proteinaceous macromolecules like immunoglobulin A, like lysozymes, and lactoferrin in saliva. These components of saliva, they contribute to localized immunity in oral cavity.